Angela would have to take me with her, and she would cut out of school or be smoking in the schoolyard, and then I would go home. Of course, I was 6 years younger than her, and I would tell my mother, Angela's smoking.
And listen, not everybody's going to agree with my decision. I can give a fuck less. You're in that position, it's you who got to face it, then you do what you need to do.
Little Changolini, he gets to the jail and
steal cars from Maryland and take them to Delaware to a chop shop.
The inside prison in Thailand, as well as what Victor Malarek, the reporter, did to get me out of there.
And I sat down and thought about it for the longest time. Okay, but once I made up my mind, it was about survival. I need to take care of my kids and take care of my family. And when a guy's not being loyal to you, how could you be loyal to him?
Welcome to Chattin with Staxx. Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Chicky. What's up, Chicky?
What's up, Staxx? How you doing, pal?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Doing good, doing cold. Just coming down from beating a little bit of a cold the last couple of weeks. Not COVID though, thank God. But everybody's getting that season now. The cold weather in New England, and cold the weather where you are. You're part of us, and just getting over these little breathing issues and stuff. But all's good.
Yeah, man. How's the family doing?
Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Thank you. That's the most important part of everything. The grandkids are doing great. I'm proud of my two daughters. They're incredible mothers. They got great guys behind them. Like I said, that was a whole nother worry I had, but I couldn't have prayed to God for better guys for to husbands and fathers to my daughters and grandchildren. So I'm blessed.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Shout out to Code of the Streets, man. There's a lot of people in here pounding that pink
Code of the
veal.
Streets. What's up, brother?
Big Lou pounding that pink veal. Gianni's here. What's good, man? Boston J,
Gianni, good guys.
Yeah, I did that intro myself, man.
You got to start promoting yourself
like
to
that.
value payment into these big time shows. You're getting big.
Yeah, man. It's only gonna get bigger, man. And I appreciate everyone that's rocking with me, and to the people that aren't, peace out. So we're gonna get into your story, man. Everyone that's watching, please hit the like button. So you want to tell the people a little bit of your background, like where you were born and raised, and like your family, like what was your family like growing up?
Well, I was born in Springfield, Mass. My father had 9 brothers and 4 sisters, and they were all from the Bronx. When my father's parents came over from Italy many years ago, they moved right. They came off Ellis Island and they went right to the Bronx, and they lived on Arthur Avenue, and I believe it was 186th Street East Street, and they lived in a 5-story walk-up. 9 boys, 4 sisters, so that's a lot of kids for a 5th-story walk-up. And my grandmother spoke very little English. My grandfather too. This is my father's parents.
But did you know how to speak it? Did you know how to speak?
No, I understand it good, and I can speak like a lot of the swear words, but I can't hold like I know Code of the Streets knows it fluently. And when I was a kid, I spoke it a little better, but no, I'd be lying to you if I knew I could hold a full conversation with it. But a lot of the fun words, and I could get you a sentence here or there, make somebody laugh, but that's pretty much where it ended.
Yeah, that was cool with your grandma. It was your grandma and your mom.
My grandmother,
right?
they came here too. My father's mother, and she didn't speak a word of English. So I used to go visit her with my father at the nursing. She was older and she had dementia back, I can remember, in the late 70s. And she was in like a nursing home, a nice nursing home. And I used to go with my father every Sunday and visit her. And I would just sit there. I couldn't understand a word she was saying. My father would speak Italian to her, but she would just, hug me, kiss me, pat me on the head like a little dog. I mean, I couldn't even, a little few words here and there, but good people, good, solid family. My father moved here for job purposes. My uncles were in the auto body business, big in New York, huge auto body franchises. And about 6 of the brothers got together out of the 9, and they said, you know what, we're going to move up to New England, Connecticut, Springfield, all through Massachusetts. And we're going to
didn't have anybody in this area.
Well, not so much Connecticut. It was more Springfield out this way, like Enfield, Connecticut. Closer to me. And they opened auto bodies. We had at one time probably 6, 7 auto bodies, all different names. And one of my uncles owned each one of them. My father was never into the auto body business. I mean, he used to go hang around there, but my father was a hard factory working guy, great father, coach baseball, coach little league, all my sports, never was into the street life, had a lot of good friends that they liked him, and he was well respected. And, but I never seen that at home. Like, I didn't come from the broken home. My mother worked. She was a housewife. My mother's mother lived with us since when my father got married to my mother in Bronx. They moved to Springfield. My mother was from Springfield, but they went to the Bronx, got married, and then they came back to Springfield to live. And they went on a honeymoon to New York City. That was their big honeymoon in New York City for the weekend. Yeah. And when they came back to Springfield, my grandmother, my mother's mother moved in with us and lived with us for 30-something years, my whole life.
It's great to have family around like that.
Yeah. So my grandmother was the head of cooking all the meals. Great, and nobody could go in the kitchen. My father was kicked out, and it was funny. A lot of laughs with her. Really a lot of laughs with my grandmother. And all my friends knew her and they loved her, and she was so funny. And, a lot of good memories, a lot of good times in my house, a lot of holidays. I used to have a lot of friends over my house that fast forward that grew up to end up becoming bosses in the Genovese family. And as kids, they hanging around my house, and just a lot of action at my house, a lot of fun, a lot of laughing.
Was any of your family members, like any of your uncles, involved in the life?
No, not directly. They were involved in the life. Like my cousin, who I called an uncle, was named Joey Calabrese, and he hung around. He was best friends with a real serious Genovese guy, a soldier at the time, becomes a boss later, Anthony DeLavo. They were best friends. So I mean, as a kid, I used to go to my Uncle Joey's auto body, and this Anthony DeLay would be hanging around there. I got to know him as a kid, and he liked me. So as years went on later, he becomes the boss of our area. He becomes the boss of the Genovese family in our area, and he liked me. And I had told a story. I can tell you later on the story, but there was a couple of times when we had to sit down, me and several of my dear friends, in an office with a lot of these big shot guys that we beat up somebody in their bar, or we were wise guys and we fought in their bar. And it came to a couple of times where he saved me, where we got me and my friends, they got pretty lumped up, and I was supposed to get lumped up. And at the last second, the guy saved me, you know what I mean? And just got up, and, and I can tell you that story after. That's a whole nother story. But so, yeah, I grew up around these guys, but the guy I grew up mostly around, I knew them all, but the one that I really that I looked up to as like kind of a mentor was Adolfo Big Al Bruno. I mean, that was, I worked as a kid, some small jobs, a little food stand, different jobs where he would frequent, and I used to see him at the different restaurants, and we were in the same circle as far as knowing the same people, the same families of people. So I'd see him all the time. And then I fast forward, he had 5 sons, 4 sons.
How old were you
in my early teen, 14, 13, 14, 12, right around there when I first started, seeing him. And keep in mind, he was doing jail time. He'd go in 3-4 years, come out, go in 7 years, come out. So in between all of that, I would see him. And then always took a liking to him.
This is an old pic. Can you see this pic?
Let me see. Okay, I can look now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right in the middle to the left, a little short guy. Serious guy, real respected, good guy. He's one of the Schiavelli brothers. I believe that's if I'm looking straight, that's Skyball, Francisco Skyball Schiavelli. Old school. He was kind of like a Vito Genovese type for this area. Real solid guy. Real serious heavy hitter guy. And he had a bunch of brothers. They were all serious guys. They were all bosses at one point. And he was right under a guy in our area for many, many years that was really well respected all over the country. And his name was Big Nose Sam Kafari. And that was Sam Kafari's underboss for a lot of years, and goes on later on after Sam dies to become the boss. And, like I said,
picture of
that's Anthony DeLavo. That's the guy. That's the guy that liked me, and he was good best friends with my Uncle Joey Calabrese. They had auto bodies together in West Springfield. And good guy from West Springfield. I mean, if you were at a sit down and he showed up, you were getting hit. There was no question about it. He was a hardworking guy. He was a meat and potatoes gangster. What I mean by that is you never seen him in a suit. You never seen him with his shaving, with sunglasses, with a cigar. you'd see him with jeans, a t-shirt, and like Timberland boots, and walking around. And he ran a ton of stands at the Big E exposition. You know, that big exposition we have down here in West Springfield.
Yeah, it's
And
huge.
yeah, he was a serious guy. There ain't nobody in my area and all through New England, and wouldn't tell you different than that guy. He's a heavy hitter. And like I said, if you were in trouble and he came there, and you were a kid and you were in trouble and he showed up, it was serious. It was serious.
So whatever happened to him?
He ends up dying in federal prison years later. I believe it was of cancer. Yeah, years later, he ends up dying at I believe it was Fort Devens in Ayers, Mass, right outside Worcester. It was a medical federal hospital. While he was incarcerated, he ends up dying. And I knew his wife, Carol, and he never had any kids. He only had a couple dogs that he treated like they were kids, you know. And yeah, him and his uncle Bendo, Anthony Torino, very, very respected men in our area. And along with the other Genovese guys, they all respected him. A real serious guy. That's no two ways about it. But so I grew up around these guys, you know, and either directly or indirectly. But Bruno was the guy I took to, you know, very, very flamboyant, the silk shirts, the cigars, you know, just you know, Hollywood. He was for our area. He was like, the only way I can describe it, and I know it's not that level, but he was basically like
the John Gotti
senior of our
John Gotti of your area.
Yeah. Senior of our area, you know, for that time. You know what I mean? The suits, the glasses, the cars, the cigar, you know, I mean,
everybody in the area respecting him.
Everybody respected him.
If they had a problem, they would go to him, right?
They go to him. You know, he was by far, and guys in federal prison, even when I was in federal prison and other guys I met that went to federal prison, he was the talk of federal prison about other families, other guys from the Genovese family, big shots from New York, that he was known to be one of the best money makers in the Genovese family. You know, I know he was out of New England, but all over the country. This guy was a real money maker. You know, just
Gianni says Skyball was tight with Fat Tony.
Oh yeah. Like I said, them guys were like the Vito Genovese. Them guys knew Tony. They knew the Chin. I mean, them guys were some really. That's what you called old school classy gangsters. You know what I mean? The suits, the no hose bar, didn't take shit from nobody. You know, and then. Like I said, that's them. Then we were growing up under these guys. You know, these guys were the guys. You know, and we were friends with their nephews, grandsons, sons. You know, they were around us. You know, we were friends with these guys. You know,
if you said you had a problem in a bar or something, right?
Yeah, there was several of them. There was several of them, but yeah, that's a big story in itself. But I could tell you a couple of the story if you want me. That's a little longer, but I'll get into it. What happened was there was a bar in Springfield, Mass. And anybody from this area, I think Gianni comes on. He knows this area pretty good. He always chimes in with things that, you know, he had to be from around here to know. But there was a bar in 16 Acres area called Macara's, and it was owned by Skyball, the little guy you just showed there on the left. That I showed you a picture of, his brother Baba, and Baba was partners with his son-in-law Michael Cimino. And in this Macara's Rock Club. It was like a rock club, nightclub, big time club going back 20 years ago. And we used to go up there. You know, we were young kids, 16, 17. We're starting fights in the joint. And they used to warn us, stop fighting in our joints. You know, you're supposed to be with us. Stop with the bullshit. So one in particular night, you know, I look back laughing now, but one in particular night, 3 or 4 of my friends were in the bar. And somebody was driving my car that night. I wasn't even out that night. And it was a heavyset guy that we grew up as kids. And so a fight broke out, and there was words said, and I guess a couple people got slapped in this guy's bar, and they had enough. They really had enough at this point. You know, several times they stopped things from happening before, but this time they had enough. So the next day I was over at my friend's house, and we get a call from the nephew of this Baba. And he said, listen, the guys had enough. They want to talk to you guys. You're going to have to meet him at this location. It was a little car lot in State Street in Springfield, Mass. And so there was myself and 3 other guys, and, you know, kids we grew up with since kids. So
were you guys worried? Were you worried?
What's that?
When you were on your way there, were you worried?
Yeah, like, of course. Yeah, we were worried. But you know, what happened was, here was the funny part. Bruno was locked up at the time. So it wasn't like Bruno was friends with all of us going to that meeting, the young kids, and he was close to all of us. But Bruno was locked up at the time. So word I got to Bruno a couple nights prior to that, what was going on. And I guess he had put out word to this guy, Felix, who was a maid guy at the time. Listen, I know they're going to get yelled at. They'll catch a slap or something, but don't let them get really tortured. Don't let them get abused, So Felix ends up picking us up, me and 3 other guys. Now, keep in mind, I wasn't even at the bar that night, and I know who was doing it. I knew who was there because they were driving my car, but I'm not going to say, I wasn't there. He was there, because then I look like a scumbag. So I said, the guy goes, and you show up, you were driving the car, Chicky. So I go, okay, even though I wasn't, it was my car. So they said, I see a heavy guy driving a car. Tell Chicky you driving a car. Okay. So we end up getting picked up by this Felix, and we go to this little friend of ours had a car lot on State Street, and we're sitting in the car lot. And when I tell you, 15, 20 minutes later, you hear the door open of the car lot, the big door where the cars come in, and it's like the who of serious, ruthless, real guys come in. You got this Baba guy that comes in, okay, which is Skyball's brother, and Baba's the boss at the time. You got the guy Felix that brought us, who at the time, put in work, was a tough guy back in the day. And now you got the heavy hitters. You got Anthony DeLavo that I just told you about. You got a guy named Anthony Torino Bendo, who was Anthony's uncle, and you got a couple other guys. And these guys were the guys they brought. When somebody was going to get hurt, these were the guys they brought. There was no question about it. So when these guys start coming in the little car lot, it's like a small little office with a couple of tables and desks, maybe 12 feet by 9 feet office space. And so you got 6 or 7 of these heavy hitters in there. And then you got myself and 3 of my friends sitting in there. So, you're in trouble. And then a guy who was a nephew of this Baba stood outside the door and kind of blocked the door so nobody could leave or come in. So we're like, holy shit, at the time, like, here we go. So the guy starts off the conversation.
How old are you at the time?
What's that?
How old were you at the time?
We had to be in our, I'm going to say late teens, early 20s. I mean, it was that's Baba. That was a young picture of him, but he was there that day. And like I said, it was our own fault. There's his brother. That's Skyballs. I believe that's Baba. I'm sorry. That's an older picture of Baba. But anyways, so we're in the bar and we're in the little thing there, and Baba starts, which he was right. We were wrong. And there was a couple other guys that owned bars that we would start troubling. Now we're kids. We're not like grown-ups then. And they used to start off, hey, listen, you guys are with us. Why are you going in the joint, starting trouble? You make us look like assholes. You guys ain't the gangsters. We're the gangsters. So it gets up and starts going, and I feel bad. One of my friends was sitting there, and the guy, Anthony DeLavo, stands up, and he was very close to this kid's family. And he starts punching the kid in the face. I mean, straight out knockout punches, hitting the kid from 3 feet away. Now, I don't know if your people know, but if you put your hands up to one of them guys, or you put your hands on one of them guys, I mean, basically, it's a death sentence. You understand?
You can't.
Nobody's swinging at these guys.
Is that even if you're not in the life, though? Like,
listen,
someone's
you're
not
getting
in the life.
Yes. If you put your hands on these guys, you're going. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not that night, but you're going. And you're going to catch a beating that day that you're not even probably get out of there. Listen, these are facts. Anybody knows, they know. You put your hands on one of them guys, there's going to be big trouble. So anyways, so we knew, keep your hands down. Nobody's touching nobody. We're going to get a beating. So my first friend, this guy, Anthony DeLay, was very close to his family. So he took it upon him. He's going to the kid around, hit the kid. Well, the kid took a beating. Anyone else would have probably tried to shoot out the window there. He took his beating. Then I had another friend of mine that was at another desk. He took a beating because Anthony went after him too, because, these kids he was close to. So he figures let him get his hands dirty with these kids. And then on the other couch is me and a kid named Nicky. And so one of the other guys stands up and he goes after Nicky, and he starts punching Nicky in the face. And I think he broke his nose. And Nicky wasn't putting up his hands to fight back. He was putting up his hands because after the 3rd or 4th punch in the nose, he was just kind of blocking.
Yeah, like
like how many am I going to get?
Yeah,
but they turned that into, these 2 crazy guys turned that into like he was putting up his hands. So they played on that. And they're like, did he put up his fucking hands to you, Uncle Tony? And they really gave the kid a good beating. So now who's next? Me. Now, one of my friends is holding his eye. My other friend's holding his nose. My other friend's blood's coming out of his head. So I'm sitting in the couch next to my friend, and I'm tightening up. And I said, okay, it's my turn. This is how it is, right? Even though I wasn't even there, but I'm not going to tell him I wasn't me, So, through the grace of good luck, the guy, they start coming out to me, and they grab me, and they're ready to go at me, and they're shaking my neck, and here comes the slaps. They're coming. And this guy, Anthony DeLay, I told you about, you showed his picture, who's a serious guy, very well respected. He's his uncle at the time, Bendo's a big, heavy guy, 350 pounds, serious guy. He's going to give me a good beating. And he says to his uncle, Bendo, Uncle Tony, don't beat this kid up. He's a good kid. These guys corrupt him. They corrupt the kid, right? So now it's so funny because I'm laughing now, but my friends are looking at me like, please don't tell me he's getting off. And I wasn't even there. They just wanted me to get a little slaps too to see what they felt like. And we're all laughing. So look at how sick we are. So my friends are looking at me and they're giving me like winks, like, you son of a bitch, how you escaped this. So his uncle pulls out a wad of money, Bendo, and gives me like a couple $20 bills. He goes, go across the street, go get us coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. So, me, boop, boop, I take the money, I run right across the street, I get out of that office, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen when I'm gone. So I come back with the coffee 10 minutes later. I'm getting good coffee, getting espressos. So I come back in the office, and all of a sudden the whole flavor has turned around. It's like the whole thing has turned around. It's like, they're hugging each other, and they're helping them wipe their eye and the blood off the nose. These guys are helping us now, and they go, come on, you guys, you got to stop. You represent us. You can't come in our joint and fight. You make us look weak. Next time you ain't going to leave the office. So next thing you know, I walk in, we all do the coffee, and they're our best friends all of a sudden. So they all leave. So keep in mind, we got drove in there by this guy, Felix, myself, and my three friends, close friends. We got drove in there by Felix. He drove us to this meeting. So now we got to drive back through Springfield to the south end of Springfield, Italian section of Springfield, to get dropped off at my car. So we're driving down, and who's holding their head, who's holding their nose, the other guy's holding his eye. So they say to Felix, and this is our joking pattern. This is how we were crazy. We didn't care. We were laughing. And a couple of the guys says, Felix, please, can we pull over behind like a building, or can we pull over in an alley and let us just beat up Chicky, us beat him up, and then we'll all come back to his car bloody, and at least he knows what it feels. But meanwhile, we're laughing. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So he thinks we're nuts. Felix thinks we're nuts. He's laughing, saying, you fucking guys are nutbags. And so that was, I could name 10 examples like that, but that was one of the more serious ones. And we were wise guys. It was our fault. You know what I mean? But listen, that's how it was. 18, 17, 19 years old. They weren't sending nobody to do it. They were going to do it themselves because they knew us our whole life. And, it wasn't like they were going to send guys to do it. They were going to do it themselves to make a point. And I mean, there's 20 stories like that, different guys' bars and different things. And so then I took a few-year break after that. I went into the military already, but I went into the military. A couple things happened. I ended up coming back home. And then when I came back home, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I went full-time for Bruno, into the streets with the bookmaking and really running the whole operation of bookmaking. And he was in and out of prison a couple little stints here and there, 3 years, 2 years. And me and a couple guys essentially ran the whole thing for him, multi. I mean, I pleaded guilty. It's not like I'm just saying it. I'm no big shot, far from it. But, I pleaded guilty in federal prison, went to jail a few times for it. And
after you got out of the military,
yep.
Did you get back on the street and say,
right.
This serious, the bookmaking stuff?
Back to the street. I opened up a pizza shop, like a restaurant, bar, disco pizza shop. Like during the day, it was a beach with pizza, and then at night, back in the 90s, at night, there was a music called Clubhouse, dance clubhouse music, right? And it was huge. Yeah. Johnny O, Lizette Melendez, TKO. I mean, it was a huge, big, genre of music. And we would have these people from New York. Of course, we had a lot of connections in New York. So we would get these Spanish groups and girls. Johnny O was huge. And they would come to our disco pizza shop outdoors and do outdoor concerts. So we were making a ton of money as 20 kids, 19-year-old, 21-year-old kids. And Bruno was our partner in the disco bar restaurant. So, and I'm just telling you that the power these guys had, it was incredible. I'll tell you a quick story. So we had this disco pizza shop during the day. It was a beach where you paid money. You laid out beautiful waters, sand. All the strip joints, the strip joints in our area, the girls of the strip joints would come and lay out with their bikinis all day and get tan. And then at night, they would go do their little dancing thing at whatever strip joint they were working at. So, I mean, this was kind of atmosphere there that was there all day. Then at night, we'd have full day open bar. I mean, not open bar. You paid for your drinks and people with beer. And we only had beer and wine and food. What a great, great place for 3 guys to own and run. So, okay, so we get a concert. I got to go pick the woman up. The woman flies into Bradley International Airport outside Hartford. I pick her up from New York. She comes in from New York, and her name was Valentina, a young Spanish girl, beautiful girl. She had like her dancers and her DJ with her. So I pick them up in my Cadillac. I bring them back to the beach club, and it's like a Saturday night at like 8 o'clock at night. I pull through the gate. The place is packed. We must have sold, I'm going to say, thousands of tickets. The beach is packed. People are laying out with their blankets. They got beer. They got wine. All our friends are there. Hundreds of girls. They're going to watch this Valentina girl perform one of the top songs at the time that are in all the radio stations, all over the colleges. She's going to perform live. So it gives you a little. I'll give you a little thing how much power these guys had. So right before the concert's about to begin, we're in Chickabee, Massachusetts, and in Chickabee, Mass, there's a famous place. It was like the Copacabana for Chickabee, but it was a hookah restaurant. And one of the owners was a guy named Johnny E. Very serious guy, Chinese guy, very big power in New York, Boston, and even in San Francisco. Had cousins that were real organized crime Chinese guys, and they were such loved and respected by the Italians. They were very close to us, these guys. We'd be there every weekend, eating, concerts, Chris Rock, all the famous Cosmo shows, the funny shows. The guy treated us like movie stars. I mean, it was literally, and anybody that knows that place from our area will tell you, it was literally like that movie Goodfellas, and I'm not exaggerating or trying to be goofy to your people listening. When they had a concert or Chris Rock or these famous comedians, and the line was out the door, you couldn't even get in. We'd make a call to Johnny and say, Johnny, it's Chicky. I'm with this guy, and our girls. Chicky, don't come right through the back. And I swear to God, it was like out of that movie Goodfellas, where they would open up the back door, and we would literally walk through the kitchen, say hi to Mo. Mo was the head chef. Go through the kitchen, duck around, like it was crazy. And then I swear to God, I couldn't make this up. And people know me and they know my area. They're going to say, no, Chicky's right on the money. They would literally, we walk out through where the staff brings the food to people. We'd walk out that door, dressed up nice. And they would literally, the waiters would have tables in their hand and bring the tables right up to the front of the floor. You know what I'm saying? Right to the stage and make our own tables. So we were sitting front row. You understand? And this guy, Johnny E, that's what kind of guy he was. He treated us good, but we treated him good too. He was very loved by all the big shot guys. Used to go there, eat. They loved him. So going back to my disco club, whatever it was. So 5 minutes before this girl has to go on, we invested like $20,000 between paying her tickets and everything, getting everything ready. All the cops come, state police, Chickabee, all local, state. Now, first of all, they know who owns the joint. They know who's running it. And now they think these guys are going to come in and have this big dancer outdoor club like they own the city. So they're going to close it down. Now, the money we got invested, they're saying, no, you ain't going on. We're pulling the permits. You're not doing it. So we're in Chickabee. We're literally 15 minutes from the hookah lounge down the street. So I go, let me make a call. So I call up Johnny and I go, Johnny, it's Chicky. I'm over at the beach. He knew about it. He goes, oh, yeah, good luck tonight. I go, Johnny, it ain't going to happen. They all surrounded the place. They ain't letting us go. So he goes, I'll be right there. Here's what he says. So 10 minutes later, here he comes, this little Chinese guy, 5'4". He must weigh $115 at best, by himself in a brand new Mercedes, pulls right up. I'm saying to myself, and I'm talking to my partners too, because we put a lot of money up. And I said, we ain't got a shot.
Yeah, you're like, there's no way it's going to happen.
Johnny comes in, little short guy comes in. He goes, he had that real Chinese accent. He goes, Chicky, you okay? I go, Johnny, are you serious? He goes, Chicky, hello. He says hi to my partners that knew him. How you guys doing? Hey, you guys all set. I go, Johnny, are you serious? As he's talking to me, I look out in the parking lot, 15, 20 car cruisers all leaving, all in order. One's going one way, one's going the other. They all leave. 15 minutes later, boom, 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 concert, big on the beach, right? I mean,
that's crazy, man.
And anybody from our area, even law enforcement will tell you, The guy was loved by everybody. This Chinese guy, Johnny Yi, and they own a ton of more. That place ends up landmark of a place. Like I said, for our area, the Copacabana from New York is in our area. That's what it was. The Huki Lao.
Whatever happened to that place? Whatever happened to the?
I had my wedding there. I mean, I rented out the place. It was like a wedding venue. I rented it out. Open bar, 350 people. Incredible wedding I had there. You would have thought you were in New York at a wedding. That's where I had it there. And he, of course,
What year was that?
Years ago, 1994.
Shinebox. I did get that PayPal. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Thank you to all the people trying to help out the show. But so anyways, that was one example of the power these guys had, and that was that thing. So what do you want me to go with this? So now, let me tell you. So now I get married. I have 2 daughters, and
in your whole time growing up in your life, did you ever have a time where you were like, damn, man, it's getting too much. I don't like the stress of watching.
Well, no, as a kid, no, we wanted it. Like, in other words, that's what came with that, But and I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie to you, I really loved it. I mean, and like I said, this is not me talking. One thing you guys don't learn about me, and I know Staxx, I'm not a bullshitter. I say it the way it is. And people that know me from my area will be like, no, Chicky's telling the truth. When he was doing it, he was the biggest. And I was running a huge thing for Bruno, and I was very good at it. I mean, it's unheard of on a Sunday, football all day Sunday. I mean, at 11 o'clock Sunday night, if you can give them the figures for the whole week and they're completely checked out, there's not one mistake, and you can hand them to them at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night after the Sunday night 8 o'clock NFL game. And by Sunday night at 11:30 at night, midnight, they have all the figures for the week completely all corrected and done.
Yeah.
For customers of at least 150, 200 customers I had, that's unheard of. It was unheard of. People were going till Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, other bookmaking offices without having their figures done. The guys would be like, on Thursday, we don't even have our fucking figures yet. And they'd say, well, Chicky had ours last Sunday. So I was good at it. I really was good at it, and I got better as time went on, but I was good at it. And we weren't just an office, of bookmakers. We had all the edge off coming to us. There was no, we got too much on a game, let me call it into somebody. We were the edge off. So everywhere throughout New England, whoever had too much on a game, any bookmaker from up to Providence, Boston, anywhere that we knew that did he want to keep all the way up to Albany, New York, into Albany, New York, any Connecticut, all the way up to like Stanford, anybody we knew that was booking that couldn't keep all the action because they couldn't afford it, they would call me and say, hey, put down 5,000 on this, 10,000 on this. So if you got 50 guys doing that, having a Sunday afternoon week, figures to figure about.
It's a lot of money, man.
Then our city goes through a lot of craziness. Like I said, Bruno was our guy, and then the tide starts turning. 2000.
Did you notice a lot of treachery when you were involved with these guys?
You know what? I mean, anybody in that life, they'll tell you it's all treachery. It's all treachery, and that's unfortunately that's the way it was. But as a kid, you don't see that, and that's what I'm saying. I just wish, and I'm not perfect, believe me, but in that life, it is treachery, and it's just a shame that there's certain people out there that they were lucky enough to get out.
Just stick with me, Chicky, man. I'm perfect. You could just learn from me.
No, nobody's perfect, but but you know what I'm saying.
With you, man.
It is a treacherous life, and it seemed to me as the more honorable you were, and the more you did the right thing, it was like
the worse off you are.
No more, they really didn't. And like I'm saying, that's the thing. The message I put out there today. There's a lot of shows out there, and I don't mention names, and I don't get people in trouble because. I mean, I don't even talk because you're not going to win. The people that do cooperate and the people that do YouTube channels, they come back to their own city and they're welcome just like anybody else. So you're not going to win. But I do put out a message that you don't have to face 100 years in prison. You don't have to become a rat or an informant. People should see the writing on the wall ahead of time and just say, you know what? And the writing's on the wall. If you really want to look at a clear picture, the writing is on the wall. Like I said, just bow out with your head held high and say, you know what, enough's enough. I mean, and I could have kept going. I could have made a ton of money, but to me, it wasn't worth it. I mean, I got some great opportunities now the last 4, 5, 6 years with the movies and different things. Yeah. So I'm blessed, and it's too bad. It is too bad because I got a lot of good friends still around, and they're good guys, and I wish everybody the best. I really do. And but it's just a different era now. I mean, and I'm not gonna. People know the story; they can ask whatever after. But Bruno, Bruno was my guy. I mean, I'm just telling you the way it is. And we grew up under Bruno, and then due to a series of events, Bruno ends up getting killed, and that just changed the whole landscape for Massachusetts. And anybody that'll tell you it didn't change the landscape, they'll be lying to you. And I know it changed the landscape. It just once that happened, everything seemed to go downhill. In a very quick, within a 7-8 year period, terrible downhill turn of
Yeah, it
events.
did.
And yeah, I don't think it's ever been the same. But I mean, maybe who am I? I haven't been around in a while, but I don't think it's ever been the same as far as that old school factor of it. But like I said, it's turning now. Everybody's on computers. Everybody's doing different things now. Now the big thing is this YouTube, which like I said, I'm just coming out. I'm trying to come in as a different aspect of it, and we'll get into it later. But like I said, I was good, and I was doing good things, and then I just happened to get caught up in something that I was kind of like I forgot what they called it in the paper. Collateral damage, they called it in the paper. I caught up collateral damage.
Yeah.
But that was another issue. And, unfortunately, I had a family member that they were targeting in. And he's another one that they really they did bad by him. The law enforcement made him out to be this big, bad entity. And a kid had 144 IQ. I mean, his story will be told someday in a book and a film.
And they tried to link your friendship. Your friendship with John Jr. They try to link it with your nephew and make this big sensational bullshit.
You put that picture. Yeah, that was that was in the New York Daily News. That's my nephew on the right. That's me in the middle of John Jr.
Your phone sounded weird, man.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it just sounds like an echo. It's weird.
Hold on. Let me get
it's good. It's good now.
Yeah. That's that was in the New York Daily News. I was in prison. I was locked up. That was probably.
Damn, your phone went back to crazy.
February or March. That picture was February, March of 2000. I'm sorry, 2000. And the New York Daily News came out with that article, which it's all bullshit. I mean, legitimately, it's bullshit. They tried to, the story. They tried to link John, that me and my nephew were having meetings with him. It's just such bullshit. I mean, listen, John got out of that life with his head held high in the very, very height of the game. I mean, come on, to get out of that game as an acting boss, and come on, he won so many cases. He beat every kid. He was facing. People forget he was facing 2 death penalty cases, and I believe it was a life or 2 life prison cases. He beat all 4, hung juries, all 4 cases. A multi-million dollars worth of lawyers.
A-Light comes back and tries to get him again, right?
With the same case, which they didn't do. Now, how is a guy like that, after he did through all of that, went and did 7-8 years in Raybrook, upstate New York, with a good friend of ours from our area, Brian Hoyle, who's a good friend of me and Damien.
Shout out to Brian Hoyle.
Yeah, Brian's a good guy, and Damien. Them guys wrote a great play. We'll get into that. I'm going to play a great organized crime drama filmed out of Hungry Hill. We just got funded for it. All the money's coming in, so that's huge in itself, and it's going to turn a lot of people's heads. Called Hungry Hill, about a little area, a neighborhood I grew up in. I grew up in East Springfield, Hungry Hill, which was Italian and Irish, tough kids, really tough kids out of Hungry Hill. And it's an organized crime drama, and they just got funded. So I'm just telling you, we're all going to be in it. And about 3 years ago, we did an indie film called The Flanagans, and it was really, really good. But due to the guy who wrote it and him lacking care, or just, we spent a lot of our own money. We went to New York. We shot it. It took us about a week, a little less than a week. It came out incredible, but due to which I didn't know that business, how it worked. I figured if you shot the movie, it was coming out. So me and my friends went out there. We shot the movie. It came out incredible, the pilot. And due to conflicts between the writer and the other owners or the other people involved in it, we advertised it. I was putting it up.
Your phone sounds crazy, man. It sounds weird.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds like it's in a echo chamber.
Why it does that, but yeah. So, anyways, we advertised the hell out of it. Everybody's saying, "Chicky, when's it coming out? Brian, when's it coming out? Damien, when's it coming out?" And we look like idiots because it's still ain't out. And it's been 2.5 years, 3 years later. But fast forward a little further, we did Me and Brian did a major motion picture with a company.
I don't know why his phone sounds like that, people. You got to bear with me.
I'm sorry. You want me to go out and come right back in? Fix it?
Yeah. Go out and come back in because it sounds real
All right,
weird.
I'll come right back.
You're good. You're good right now. You're good now.
Okay.
You're good now.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with these computers.
So, yo, hold on, Chicky. I want to tell the people real quick. I'm going to drop the link. So if anyone wants to come in and ask Chicky some questions, feel free, man. I'm going to drop the link.
Yeah, absolutely. So. We'll do the, like I said, there's some things I can't talk about for legal reasons, but other things, I mean,
phone's still tapped, someone said.
What's that?
Someone said your phone's still tapped.
It's been tapped since I was about 14, and it'll be tapped till I'm probably dead, but I don't do nothing wrong, so.
How hard do you find it to change your life after, like, after everything you've been through, and when people come at you with bullshit over the internet, and they talk reckless out their mouth, and you're trying to change your life? How hard do you find it to do the right thing?
In the beginning, I'm gonna be honest with you. A couple years ago, it drove me insane, and I used to. Let me tell you something. The things in my head and what I plotted. Thank God I could be doing 10 more years in prison now. Just the crazy shit that I was going to do to these people that came out and said crazy things. But at the end of the day, then what you become, and just lately, the last year and a half, I'm coming to the realization that real guys don't do what these people do. They don't come online. They don't talk. They don't sit back somewhere and then have somebody else come chase me around the city with a camera, filming me, putting me on Facebook. This is the new tough guy. These are the new tough guys. You understand? I got this kid that he pulls up to me at a light. Okay, now I'm under a federal indictment. Okay, right now I'm under a federal indictment. I just pleaded guilty in December 9th. I get sentenced March 17th. Everybody knows my story, knows what's going on. Yeah. I got this kid that pulls up at a light next to me. I might see him like once a month, whatever. And he takes his cell phone and films me. Literally films me like I'm Elvis Presley and he's a little fangirl chasing me for my autograph. He chases me around the city, cuts me off. So I have one or two choices. The old me, I'm under a federal indictment. Do I pull over and stop my car and smash his head with a bat or his car? Or do I try to keep going my business and just stay away from him and get out of there? Because something mentally ain't right with the kid. He's filming me. And now he's in his car. I don't hear him, but he's talking in his car like, oh, I'm chasing Chicky. First of all, I'm 54 years old. And I never got chased in my life, and it'll never happen. But he's saying in his phone, I'm chasing Chicky, and I'm just driving to my daughter's. I'm driving just where I got to go. The kid wants to follow me, let him follow me. Yeah. And then he puts it up on Facebook and he's laughing. Look, I'm chasing Chicky. Now, first of all, for anybody that chases you with a phone and films you and puts you up, when you got a probation officer and when you are under federal indictment, that's a stone cold rat. That's who does it. Okay? And don't tell me. Okay?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. How come these people weren't chasing me around when I wasn't under federal indictment? Or when I didn't have a probation officer calling me 3 times a week? And then the worst part about it is, Staxx, I got my probation guy calling me. This is the 3rd time in 2 months this kid does this. He calls me and says, why are you running down Southern Avenue with this or do with this and that? You know what I told my probation guy? I was filming a movie because luckily I got a couple of times filming a real movie. So I go, no, I was filming a movie. That's what I told the guy. So what kind of people are we living in 2022 that want to get you put back in jail? Okay? That's not a dry snitch.
There's a lot of them out here, man.
Yeah, there are. And you know what? Like I said, my answer to your question is a couple years ago, and I got people around me, close people, that'll tell you it was bad doing. But at the end of the day, I got great opportunities with these movies. I got great opportunities with I got beautiful grandchildren. I got 2 great daughters. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to get through this stupid thing. March 17th, I get sentenced. And like I said, with COVID, I got 3 months in. It's not a big sentence. There's no guidelines. The estimate is it could be anywhere from 6 to 15 months. It'll be a federal prison. I'm a self-report. And like I said, of any situation my whole life, I always made the best of it. I went in quite a couple, 3 times, 4 times already. I go in, I lose weight, I eat healthy. And whatever the time is, I come out and I look great. You know, I'm 100 pounds lighter. I've got my head clear. I can write. I'm writing a great book. But that's another issue. But, you know a little bit about it, but it's going to be incredible. I got some of the best people helping me write it. I got a great producing company out of Beverly Hills producing it. and moving it along in all the stores. So I got a lot of incredible things. If I can just get through this few little bullshit months until I get sentenced, which I will. And I got good people around me, you know what I mean? And that's the bottom line. And like I said, John Jr. has showed me and a couple other guys the way as far as, listen, you can go do good things in a legitimate way. You can go, make a movie. It's all what you want to do. And then that's, like I said, me and my friend Brian just got that movie Pep, which the company who is producing it, that put up all the money for it and everything, is called Appian Way. And that's the company owned by Leonardo DiCaprio. So he's involved in the movie. Now, come on, when you got a guy like that, A-list actor, serious actor, when he's pulling the strings for this show and this movie, and we shot it in November. Me and Brian shot it, and my other friend Damien was going to shoot it too, and he's a great actor, but he gets there and he gets positive for COVID. They said, you got to leave. So thank God, at the time, me and Brian didn't have it. They put us in the movie, and we got talking rules. I mean, Brian just came to show
Damien
up.
was supposed to be in the movie too, but he got COVID.
And so the morning of the thing. I mean, you got to go. You got to leave right now. You can't even watch. You got to leave because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, and I got that, and we got like I said, Hungry Hill. We're going to be hopefully shooting, and that, like I said, I don't know if they're going to shoot it. They're going to have no choice because it's a money thing and it's a budget thing, and I understand that. So if I'm locked up when they film it, I wish them the best. They'll get somebody else to do my thing, and I know they want me to do it. But if I'm not there, that's fine, because when they win, I win, and when I win, they win. So it's okay either way. Do
they already have the part that you're going to play on Hungry Hill?
Yeah. I play a nutball character. My character was put together by some kind of like real me, but then Hollywood me, Brian and Damien came up with, which is some funny parts but serious parts. And I play kind of like an underboss of the family around here. And I have a boss, and I'm like a nutbag. And there's a couple scenes in an indoor bocce court in West Springfield. They have an indoor bocce court. And I'm going to get into too much because it's incredible. But I end up hitting a guy, kind of like makes a half-hearted joke at me about I stopped to get something to eat on the way there. Like kind of like a funny little joke. And everybody's laughing like it's a joke. And I take a bocce ball and split his head wide open in the show, in the scene. And it's like an epic scene. Blood shoots everywhere. And it's a funny scene. But it goes from like almost like a Joe Pesci character where you're laughing 1 minute, but then the next minute you're going, are you sick fuck? What are you thinking? Meanwhile, the guy's laying on the ground with his head cracked in two. You know what I'm saying? So it's really good. And then there's the Russian aspect to it, the Russian gangster aspect to it. There's the Irish kids that run a serious crew.
So it's got dry humor and it's serious.
It's like I'm not even in that same category, but all I can refer to is like when Joe Pesci is laughing with the guy Spider, and then he's laughing. He goes, fucking dance me, get me a cup of coffee, and he shoots his toes. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And then he goes, now go fucking dance me, get me a cup of coffee. Like, and you're laughing, but on the other hand, you're going, what a sick fucking guy this guy. Thing it is. And it's going to be good. So like I said, listen, people are, and there's, what's sad? There's people out there that are our friends we grew up with for life. There's some friends that we grew up with. They're like, Chicky, good for you. You should have done this 30 years ago. And then you got other friends that grew up with us and they're fucking cursing us. They're like, oh, you're never going to amount to shit. Come on. So, so at that time, I mean, what do you do? At that time, it's kind of thing to part hairs and just say, all right, well, thank you for the good aspirations. And I wish you the best. And you move on. What are you going to do? The people, don't want to see you happy.
When you were involved in life, like real heavy, did you ever think that you would be involved with making movies and all that?
You come on. Well, you're going to laugh, but ask a question to Michael Francese and these other guys. When you were in the life at one point, did you ever think you'd be on YouTube? Doing this? You know what I mean? So, but the YouTube's a lot different. But see, like I said, a lot of the YouTube guys, and I'm just being honest here, and I know they got a ton of people that watch them, and they're serious guys. I mean, in their life, they were killers and all of that. But see, and I don't badmouth Pacific people, but the bottom line is what people got to understand is you can go on YouTube and you can do that, and you can leave that and say, but you don't have to leave that where you can't keep your head up. You don't have to leave that where you become a rat, but you go testify against all your friends, put them all in jail. Now you're doing a YouTube channel. I mean,
and then you want to push it off on everybody else.
And the only thing I'm saying is, and I'm a nobody, this, that. I never took an oath. Oh, you take an oath to your brothers. like I said,
how close did you ever?
Bruno.
How close did you come to getting made?
Well, I'll be honest with you, and only the certain people that know about this know it, and so other people that laugh and don't know it, I really don't care. But I was on record with Bruno, of course. When you work for any guy like that and you're doing stuff for him, you got to go on record. They put you on record. Hey, Chicky's with me, blah, blah, blah. And then years later, a kid I grew up with ends up becoming the boss. And he only had a several-year run because, you know, that's a whole other story. But and then he got permission to where he was going to start making people. That's the bottom line. He had the permission, and then a series of events happened, and he never got to make nobody, because he ends up going back to jail, and then a couple of things later, and next thing you know, it's a whole nother story, and people can check that out themselves. But the thing is,
got Big Lou in the building.
I don't know if I would have ever. I don't know if I would ever. But I mean, you know, I would have had a shot. I mean, I'm glad. Not looking back now, I'm glad it probably didn't work out that way. But that's all I'm saying. So, and anybody that knew me, and listen to me, I'm telling you straight out, I was never to listen to me. We had a lot of fights in our days, and a lot of my friends will tell you, if we ever have a fight, I was the first one that would help anybody. I was the first one, if I had to do whatever I had to do, I would do to help my friends. But I wasn't the tough guy. I was never known as a tough guy. I mean, put it this way. If you wanted to go with 2-3 tough guys and really hurt somebody, you're not bringing Chicky. Chicky might be the driver. Chicky might make the laugh on the way there. So I was always a big guy. I'm not rolling around, and I'm 54 years old. Even at 34, I was big. I'm not rolling around the ground with nobody. I'm not jumping on the ground doing MML. What do you call it? MML.
MML.
I'm just hitting you with a bat, and that's it. But
he said, "I'm not rolling around on the ground."
I'm not rolling around getting dirty and this and that. And if that's the guy you want, then I wasn't that guy. So tell me who you want. But I mean, it is what it is. These little punks, 30-year-old kids driving around. I mean, what do they think? I'm going to get out in the park and say, okay, let's go toe-to-toe? I'll be tired in the first 20 seconds. Where am I going? You know what I mean? Let's go eat a sandwich and laugh about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's right. So let's go eat a fucking sandwich and we'll laugh about it. My treat. You know, I'm not wrestling around with you. And then if you push me to another extent, you're going to get the club over the head, and that's it. But that's why now, when they know you're not doing that, because, come on, what kind of person comes after you with a film camera? And I can't get that out of my mind because that's unheard of. And you're under a federal indictment. Okay, where were you the last 20 years when I was out in the street every day? And now you're coming around and then calling my probation guy on top of it, saying, why is Chicky driving around? Here's the film. Can you imagine? This is the 2022 person. So it is
crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's beyond crazy.
It's the new gangster, man. It's the new gangster.
Yeah, the new gangster.
Wow. Yeah, that's a new gangster, bro. I don't want no part of it.
No, but then on top of it, then they go on YouTube and they're the first one, rat.
Yeah,
Remember one thing. Always remember one thing. It's the rat caller who's the rat. Remember that, okay? Right. It's the rat caller who's the rat.
Yeah, because anybody that's about that life, bro, they don't go around saying that straight up. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, this word's being thrown around like people say hello. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what to do. Listen, all I'm saying is there's certain guys out there that are having shows, and they're legitimate rats. They ratted on people. They put people away in life. They got their big YouTube channels. And you know what's surprising to me? And believe me, I'm not bad. I'm just telling you what I'm surprised at. I'm surprised, and shame on me. This goes to show you how little I knew about the world. The majority of the world, but now I thought it was a huge percentage of the world that cared if somebody was a rat. They don't give a shit.
They don't.
The very low percentage of, look at 69, this rapper.
I didn't think he would ever make it anywhere, man.
Listen to me. At a concert, he sells out 100,000 scenes arena with little white girls and different colored girls screaming for him, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have thought somebody would be protesting, don't go in, you know, whatever. But here's a kid, and I tell everybody, I mean, I'm far from these rich people, but here's a kid that he could, on his own merit, he used to be a good rapper. He was crazy with his hair. He didn't have to go join the Bloods. He didn't have to use that element of tough guy, which he never was. So then what happens? The Bloods take him in. These guys in New York, right? Whatever that Crip Blood thing is, they take him in because they see the dollar signs, which you can't blame them. They're money-making guys. They're around them. They're showing videos of guns everywhere. They're around them. They get pinched. They pick up a mass indictment. What happens? A street guy who's not a street guy goes to jail. He's facing 40 years. What's he do? Give up all his blood friends. Do
you think it's going to catch up to him, Chicky?
Nah.
Do you think it's going to catch up to him?
You know what? I don't think so. It's because he's the most on TV, people videoing him. I mean, how's he going to catch up with him? Is somebody going to put themselves on camera trying to kill him? I mean, I'm surprised they got to the guy in Alpo, whatever his name is. I'm surprised they got to him, Alpo Martinez, whatever his name is in Manhattan. I mean, in Harlem.
Yeah, but that wasn't. It had nothing to do with him.
No, I understand.
That's why he got killed. It was something totally different.
That was a really different thing, right? But I'm just saying, right away, people are like, they got to him. No, they didn't.
Yeah. I mean,
I wanted to just come on real quick and tell Chicky, thanks for sharing your story.
Oh no, thank you, my friend. Thank you for listening. I opening too wide,
right. The fact that you keep it real, you tell it like it is. You don't sugarcoat nothing. We need a lot more people like you coming forward, and speaking the truth, because like you're just saying right now, it's so. Besides the people that are throwing that word around, like saying hello, it's being it's being accepted to worldwide, and it's like a thing. I don't want to say it's a thing to do, but it's like
no, I mean, I hate to say it, but like there's guys out there, these like 69, this kid Chris Pacello from Miami, they made rap. I hate to say this, but like I said, they made rap cool. I mean, whoever thinks it is cool, they're supposed to, they think
that
it's
shit
cool.
Ain't cool over here, man.
Yeah, well, like I said, 69 walks around with a bag with $1 million cash. He's got 6-7 bodyguards around him, and he's laughing, and he's the shit, and he's putting a rat head on in his videos. But you know what? You won't see 69 at 3 o'clock in the morning in a hotel, not looking in the mirror when all the cameras are off. And he's got tears coming out of his eyes because he can't even look at himself. You won't see that.
I bet you he's really scared though. Like deep down inside, he's scared. He can't walk down the street, man, with his head held high. Like,
whatever.
What kind of life is that?
Yeah, well, that's why he pays that top dollar for them security.
Hey,
the guards he has around him.
Spend that money, man.
Listen,
that money.
Listen, let me just say this, and this is the truth. If anybody wants to fool themselves, they can keep fooling themselves. The bottom line is, it's over. When you got bosses, Joe Mazzino, the boss of the Bonanno family, when you got him turning over on his protege, Vinny Basciano,
or Ralphie, Ralph.
I mean, the other one that was his brother-in-law. I mean, you can go on and on and on. And all I'm saying is, if that's not showing you that it's over, what is it going to take? Is it going to take you getting a 100-year charge to know that it's over? Come on. I'm just saying, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but why wait? Why wait until you're put in a position doing 100 years where they say testify against this guy or that guy, and you're free? Why does it take that? Why don't you just bow out and say, you know what, I see where this is going, I'm good. And that's not being a pussy, that's honorable, I think.
Joe Massino, it's unthinkable what he did. You know what I mean? Especially wearing the wire in the MCC and all that.
MCC Manhattan on the roof, and I was on that roof. I was on MCC Manhattan roof with Vinny Basciano, like literally a year after that happened with him, and he told me. I mean, anybody knows my story knows that I was close to him, MC Manhattan, and I'll never forget it. It was 11 South.
This is the roof right here, I think.
Right? It's got the cradle on the top, right? And that's where no, that's not. That's ADX. That's in eight. No, them are different prisons where Vinny is. There is a picture. You had it up last time, MCC roof, but that one where Vinny's within a dog cage, that was ADX, Florence, Colorado. That was the Supermax. This here, I don't know where that is. Look at Vinny, though. He looks so skinny. I don't know what the hell happened. But he got some pictures. He looks good. But every picture, look at him, tan and smiling. And let me tell you, this guy was like this in real life. This guy was like this in real life. So every day, I mean, come on. How do you talk to him about, how do you talk about Vinny about doing a lousy stupid bid for bookmaking? And this guy's got a smile on his face, fighting his case every day in the law library, and he's facing 2 death penalty cases. Come on.
Here's the yard, man.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, it's right there. And then, there's grate on top and the under. They have like a basketball court, and you got a little thing where you walk around and a handball thing. Very small, but they only let one unit out like once a week, or I don't know what it was. Now with COVID, forget it.
But what I was saying about Massino, man, look at how many trusted, people that he had, capos that flipped on him before that. Like he had about 7 to 10 guys that flipped on him. You know what I mean? Including his old brother-in-law. And I know, I'm going to be honest. I know the guy. I know Sammy the Bull. He was a real guy, absolutely. But let me just he was in a whole nother level. Come on, guy was an underboss, but he was a real guy. But he always says, and I'm not sticking up for nobody. I'm just giving facts. He goes, now we all know, anybody with a right mind knows John Gotti Sr. He was flashy. He did things that were unconventional, signing autographs. It's out there. Okay, what are you going to do?
but he owned his life. He owned it. He's like, listen, this is who I am. Like Vinny Basciano, don't cop out. We don't, whatever. And that's how he thought. So, he died. He died as he wore it. You know what I mean? So when Sammy says, well, what's his name? Sammy says, John was in MC Cement and saying, the streets need me. You got to be the guy that takes the fall. Do you really believe in your head that conversation took place? So if Sammy wants to turn over and blame John Gotti, that's okay. He can do that. But what happened to the other 46 people we put away for life and all kinds of crazy, for every family here and in between? What did they do to him? Did they have a secret conversation too, saying, Sammy, the streets need us too? That's all I'm saying.
No, the government said for the 2 years, solid 2 years, you're going to tell on whoever we tell you to tell on.
Well, getting forgiven for 19 murders, what do you think? That wasn't, come on. If that wasn't a sweetheart of all sweetheart deals, do 4 years in federal prison for 19 murders and then come out, and within 2 years you get picked up in a federal, not even a federal.
There's Joe Messina.
Yeah.
And did you ever have any dealings with Gotti?
Oh.
With Gene?
No, I didn't even know. I was a kid. I was like, he was around in like 89. He went in like right before his brother. No, I think his brother, he was in. I think
out now. I think
he's
out now.
Yeah. But no, I'll tell you, from everyone I know, that they said Gene was a real guy. He was no joke. Gene is a real guy. And come on, imagine 30 years he took because his brother, he could have copped out. Not with being a good guy, just saying, okay, guilty, I'm guilty. They would have given him like 10 or 12 years or 15 years. He cops out. He didn't cop out. He said, because he knew the way his brother felt, and to take it, boom. And he took 30 years and he did it. Fucking guy. It is what it is. But listen,
20 murders, that Frankie Loke is gone. 20 murders.
There's another guy. Imagine that guy goes and gets sentenced to life in prison. And from what I never met these guys. These guys are legends. But people that did, I know people that did meet them and had dealings with them, and they said that Frankie Loke, serious guy, but true gentleman. That wasn't high key, very low key. And look at, he stands up in court when he got sentenced to life. And they said, do you have anything you want to say for your last words? And he says, yeah, the only thing I'm guilty for is being loyal and being dear friends with John Gotti Sr. That's what he says. Imagine what kind of gentleman doesn't do that, says that. So that, that's what he said. That's how he felt. The only thing I'm guilty of is being friends with somebody and being loyal.
Who said that? Who said that?
Frankie Lucchese.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got this guy.
Let me see. Yeah, look at him. Well, whatever. And you know what?
I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys.
Good channel. And he is listen, don't get me wrong. He was a serious guy. He was a great planner, killer, all of that. Yeah. But do you know in his life, he didn't do much time. Everybody's like, if you hear him talking on shows, you must
think no time. He
did a couple $6 a year.
Built for it.
Yeah.
He wasn't built for time. He's scared to death to do the time. And that was his way out, man. And he always says that, John betrayed me, and and I double betrayed him.
Leonetti.
But when it really comes down to it, bro, he couldn't do the time, and he told on the chin and a lot of other guys,
Yeah.
He never speaks about.
Staxx, you want to laugh about some local thing here with Bruno? Guess who Bruno? And there's pictures of him on the paper and everything. But I was younger. I wasn't there back then, but a dear friend of mine's father was down in I used to go down to Bruno's condo with my wife and kids. Back in the day, Bruno had a beautiful condo in Pocono, like on the 11th floor overlooking the water. And I used to go down there. He'd say, Chicky, go use the place for a couple of weeks, because every year I'd take a couple of weeks after NFL. They'd have somebody fill in for me. And I would go down with my wife and kids and have a nice vacation for a couple of weeks and stay at Bruno's place. Yeah. So how they all meet each other, how they all become close. It's funny because one summer I wasn't down there, but Bruno, a big news article came up in my local paper, and guess Bruno's down in Shooters in Fort Lauderdale on a boat, and guess who he's on a boat with? He's on a boat with my friend's father, his wife, the wives, the girls, Bruno, my friend's father, and Nicky Scarfo and Philip Leonetti. They were all together with about 30 guys from Philly. They used to take that boat with all the guys from Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So down there, these guys all knew each other. These guys knew. Nicky Scarfo loved Bruno, loved him. And Leonetti loved him. Matter of fact, Leonetti came to Springfield when he had just become an informant on his uncle. He came to Springfield and testified against Bruno in one of Bruno's cases he was up against.
What?
Yeah, go in archives. They'll tell you. Leonetti was in Springfield testing against.
I'll look into that. Definitely.
Leonetti came to Springfield Federal Court, and testified against Bruno on one of his mob trials.
Yeah, Leonetti was supposed to testify against Gotti, but once Gravano made the move,
he said he made that statement. He said that he was actually in the bullpen. He was there in the bullpen, and they said, no, you're all set because Sammy hit it out of the park.
Right. Yeah.
So that is, but like I said, but now it's like they can tell, like you know what I laugh at? I watch this the Franchise interview with Sammy the Bull. I mean, listen to me. There's guys out there that became cooperators, and they go home and they just are good fathers and they're good husbands, and they don't go on YouTube and they don't threaten people and they don't go to jump over a table and say, "I'll kick your ass right now."
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, right.
So you can't have both ways. Either you're a gangster and you go to jail forever and you're a gangster, or you do what he did and you're not a gangster no more. So just sit there and do your little show, but don't come. You'll put your hands up to me. He thinks he's
so silly, man. 75-year-old grandfather doing it.
Come on, bro. It's all for show, bro. He's not tough. He's not tough.
Crazy for how many views they got so far. People lose their friggin' minds over. Oh my god! And then they call their shows to sit down and join our social club. And these fucking people are thinking they're in a social club. People in the UK and Ireland. I'm in a social club. I'm in Sammy Bull's our fucking thing. I mean, really? Come on.
Hey, I don't know about you. I don't know about you guys.
Your phone sounded crazy again, bro.
No,
I don't know about you guys, man. But the more that Sammy the Bull talks, like when he goes on different platforms, the more and more he talks, the sillier he sounds, man. Like with some of these, not so much his stories, but like some of the
story.
Yeah, he tells a great. Yeah, and he gets
Chicky. Christopher Toro. Chicky. Christopher Toro wants to know if you're friends with Anthony Binji.
Well, he's like I said, we were friends a long time ago. We grew up
together.
Your
phone sounds crazy, bro. I don't even know if they can understand it.
All right, I'm gonna bow out and come back in.
You sound the same. It just goes lower, and it sounds like you're talking through like a tunnel.
Weird. It sounds like a fucking echo, like a tunnel.
Yeah, I'm not getting that, but it sounds like you're talking in a tunnel.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you. Okay. I can hear you guys perfect. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. All them kids, we grew up together. Like I said, we grew up together, them kids, and the last 10 or 12 years, it's been crazy with everything that's been going on. But we grew up with them kids. We grew up with all them kids. We grew up.
Give me 1 second, man. I'll be right back. Okay. You guys hold it down.
You what?
I said hold it down. Hold it down for me, man.
All right. Yeah, so these kids in Springfield, all they grew up together as kids, since 7, 8 years old, grew up in this neighborhood, and we grew up our early teens throughout until they went away. But Freddie G was our friend, his brother. I mean, these kids hung around with us as teenagers, in early 20s. And we were around these guys, went out to dinner, and Freddie's allegedly, which, I mean, the BOP, it's been over 3 years and they haven't charged him. He allegedly killed Whitey Bulger, allegedly, which I don't believe it. But he's been in the hole in Hazelton, West Virginia for over 3 years, and the BOP hasn't charged him with the murder yet. If you're not going to charge somebody with the murder, let him out. Go let him in the population. Why is he still in the hole? Whatever that Crip blood, they take him in because they see the dollars. Right. You can't blame them.
Right. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. I'm taking the wifey out to dinner tonight, so we're gonna go grab a bite to eat.
Okay.
I just wanted to come on real quick and
Yeah, I don't know where Staxx is. Staxx.
Yeah, he said give him a minute. But I just want to
eat some dinner with your mom and leave us in here. He was going to.
I'm right here, man. I'm right here.
Yeah, I know. Staxx is always hungry on the shows. His live shows. He always says he got it.
What's up, man? I'm right here, bro. I'm right here.
But yeah, I'm about to take off. We're about to go eat. You got to treat your woman, man. You got to take her out every now and then.
Treat her right.
Because
treat her right. Because let me tell you, when they're gone, you're like, what did I do wrong? And then when they're there, you're like, holy shit. So treat her right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to tap in.
For coming on, I appreciate it.
I just want to tap in, tell you thank you, and good luck on your, the next chapter of your life. Hopefully, God willing, everything, smooth sailing for you and your little vacation stay. And keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate you.
Right. Thank you.
And same thing to you, Staxx. Like always,
appreciate you,
you're a
Big Lou,
gentleman.
man.
You know
Definitely.
what I mean? I respect you. I respect your grind, your hustle, and you keep doing it, man. And I can't do. I got to tip my hat off to you and all my folks in the chat. Everybody was saying what's up to me, but I can't get the comments on this phone. But I looked at my other phone. So anybody out there, everybody, you know who you are. There's a lot of you guys. I appreciate you guys. Much love. And I might be doing something soon here. I don't know yet. But I'll put the word out.
Do it, man. Do
Best
it.
of luck. We'll
All right, fellas. Have a good night, huh?
Bro.
Right.
Ciao.
Peace.
Yeah. So
Chicky,
Staxx,
man.
I was talking to this kid here when you get off, but I was telling him about Freddie. We grew up with Freddie too, as more so in our later teen years. Up to like 14, 15, up to our 20s. But like I said, Freddie's for over 3 years. He's been in the friggin' hole in Hazleton, West Virginia. No, BOP hasn't charged him, right? So if the case is so solid on him allegedly doing that to Whitey, which is ridiculous. Okay, I'm thinking Whitey got up, fell out of the wheelchair, banged his head on the bed. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
but
he must
obviously the case ain't that good against Freddie, because why didn't the BOP charge him? It's going on over 3 years. Let the kid back in solitary confinement or charge him. You can't have it both ways. You can't have a kid sitting rotting away in a hole, and then not charge him. Come on. What are they waiting for if it's so concrete?
How much time does he have? Does he have life?
Life, yeah, life, and his brother got life.
So regardless, I mean, he has to.
Well, I
stay
mean, it's
in
a big
prison.
difference
So
doing life. It's a big difference doing life in a good unit with all lifers that you got freedom, like
Oh, I know.
Than it is to sit in a fucking hole 24/7. And I think just recently, from what I heard, because we have the same lawyers in a couple things, that just recently, within the last 4 or 5 months, he just got a roommate, which is huge. I mean, he went almost 3 years by himself. So I guess he's got somebody, a biker guy or something, in his cell now that he can play cards or work out, whatever they do. It's still, sometimes, I don't know, but I never been nowhere near that, but sometimes it's better off you be alone. You can do your own little routine, but some people, for talking and getting their, whatever, they like having somebody.
Yo, would you consider yourself that you were with Binji's crew?
Mm-hmm.
Freddie's
yeah, I mean, that's
well,
yeah. Well, I grew up. I was around Bingy. Yeah, I was, because when Bruno gets murdered, fast forward, Bingy took over his sports.
Did you know that he had any involvement in it?
No, I mean, come on, of course not. I mean,
after
when it comes out, when they arrest him for it, I mean, then you're hoping. No, maybe they got it wrong. Maybe because at the time we don't. Nobody knows nothing. I mean, there's rumors going around, but nobody knows that. That's not something they announce on the street. But
so he had to get permission to have him killed, right?
There's so many different stories. I know. Yeah, he definitely. I mean, they got to be permission from New York. They ain't just coming up with that. But it's just like it's. They say a lot of different reasons, but listen. Anybody that knows Bruno, I mean, I know they say somewhat of the 302, and Cliff Hedges was the FBI agent, and Bruno said something he shouldn't. But I mean, anybody that knew Bruno, and maybe I'm wrong, but Bruno was a politician. He used to play racquetball with the head guy down the Springfield court, Matty Ryan. And I mean, everybody known this since the 70s, that they had a big influence where if you picked up a case, if they could help you, the case would go away. This has been going on for years. And it is what it is. But there's like 3 different stories what happened. The bottom line is, I think after that, it all went downhill. And I think anybody that's telling the truth will tell you it all went downhill after all of that. And then, them guys got picked up in, I think, 2000, I want to say 2009 or 8. And it's been, it's just like crazy now. It's a whole nother thing. But it's just too bad because, like I said, and there was people that didn't like Bruno. There was people that liked. There was a lot of people love Bruno. And there was guys that didn't like Bruno. I mean, that's just in everything in life. You could be a priest, and there's some people that like you, some people that don't like you. It don't matter who you are. But of course. So there was people that see that happy. They were happy it happened, and then there was other people that said, wow, this is a whole nother thing now. You know what I mean? It's but if he was the last of the real flashy, which I know flashy's not a good word for that.
Yeah, the mafioso.
Yeah, he was the last with the cigars, and he wasn't playing the role.
And that old school accent. He's got that old school.
Yeah, he's from Italy, and he was broken. Yeah, he was broken, not bad. Some of them had a lot worse than him, but I don't know. It's just like I grew up, like I said, we had a lot of these kids. It was really sad because we grew up with a lot of these kids, and I did a lot of things with a lot of these kids, and to see how at the end of the day how it all ended up. it's just, it hurts and it did mine too. And I wasn't even nowhere in the level like them guys, but it destroys families. It takes your kids away from you. It takes your wives away from you. It's just, everybody can look at a Goodfellas movie and looking at a news clipping of this guy or that guy or Joey Molino, and it looks like a Hollywood. Everything's wonderful. No, everything ain't wonderful. It's not like that. Life looks wonderful, but
they don't know about the trail of
come on, when your kids
pain that's behind all them people.
Certain guys, the kids don't want to talk to them. Other guys, the wife's left them. I mean, it's if you could ask any of these guys to go back, and they'll tell you there's a lot of shows they're already saying this. If I could have went back and not got my button and not got involved with these guys, I would have done it in 2 seconds. They say it. So the only thing I'm saying is why not have a message out there that, listen, why wait until you're put in a position where you got to go to jail for life, or you got to turn it all.
Or you got to kill somebody, or you're going to end up testifying against people.
Yeah, right.
Why
so
even
why
put
not
yourself in that position
ahead of time and just say, listen, thank you. When I was running around with you guys, I had your back. You had my back. I would have done anything for you, but I'm all set.
Yeah, but what would you say to a situation like John Panisi, who tried to walk away from the light, and he said that these people kept harassing him, and eventually he was going to end up killing an innocent person, so he ended up going to the feds.
You know what? I don't really know. I don't know this guy good enough. I really don't. I don't even know what I read and everything. But at the end of the day, he was a made guy. He took an oath like the rest of them, and that's not. And don't get me wrong. There's other guys that did it, that are drug dealers and everything. And that listen to me. If you follow these rules the way they want you to follow them, I mean, you shouldn't have no drugs. Look at some of the old rules of La Cosa Nostra. Look at the rules. You ain't even supposed to go in a pub. Crazy rules.
Yeah.
And then there's the one, don't go with your friend's wife, don't go with your friend's girlfriend. The fuck, you ain't even locked up for 6 months. Guys are trying to grab your wife and girlfriend. So
they're doing it when you're out.
They got
people.
Listen to me. I think, and I who the fuck am I? But I think they got to update these rules. Update rules. Make new rules. Make a new commission. Do new rules. Something. But they're not going to do that because all the heavy hitter, big bosses and big shots in New York, they're all multimillionaires. 90% of them, the real ones, are all millionaires. And with this RICO Act, no guy 60, 70, 80 years old is going to take a 25-20-year prison term. They're not doing it.
What about the Colombo bus? So what do you think's going to happen with
I have no idea. I don't want to disrespect anybody and say what's going to happen, but from the chain of events throughout the last 30 years, it tells you it ain't going to be good. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't guess the future, but it tells you it ain't going to be good.
Tell all the rats, get in the bathroom.
Yeah, it's like I said,
and there's different kind of people who cooperate. I mean, there's rats, there's snakes, there's rats, there's people who wear wires.
But that's in all aspects of life. That's not just in that life. I mean, you can be a completely professional businessman, and you could be
a nasty rat bastard.
Yeah, But the message, and like I said, a lot of these guys
can't honor an oath if you don't take it.
Hey, can you hear me, Staxx? Can you hear me? You're coming in real staticky. I don't know why, but I don't know what's going on. But if you can hear me, that's fine. But like I said,
the
message
hear you.
that really should be out there is that, and I know a lot of guys that are doing their own thing. They don't need them people, and they're doing fine. You know what I mean? You don't need that. But as far as this loyalty thing and all this, I mean, what are you loyal to? I mean, you know what? And I got to tell you about my father real quick because it means a lot to me. And shame on me because it was stupidly I found this out after he died. But all of us kids had great fathers. My father wasn't a gangster. He knew a couple of them, but he never was into it. He was a hardworking guy. Anybody that knew my father that's listening to this that knows my family, my father was a straight good guy. Ball coach, drive around in his car with all the kids, going to baseball games. And a lot of my other good friends' fathers, same thing. They were coaches with him, assistant coaches. He was assistant coach, and they're all the same. Okay, really. Now, them guys, in my eyes, in a lot of people's eyes, growing up and still now, they deserve more respect than these gangster guys because any guy, and shame on me, it took a long time to realize this, but any guy who goes to work and comes home and gives my father used to give my mother the check on Thursday, go food shopping. She handled the money, gave my mother and father a little allowance, and I know a lot of other friends of mine's wife did the same thing. And That's honorable. You want to talk about a stand-up guy who goes to work every day and supports his family, coaches his kids on his night off, puts football teams together for his kids. That's honorable. That's honorable. So
yeah, like code of the streets, man.
Right,
He's an
right.
honorable dude.
Exactly.
He's out there coaching.
And I like him a lot. Mike's a good dude, and he's always helping kids. That's another thing. You know, that's another thing. Oh, we're doing it for the kids. This is this new YouTube message by these ex-gangsters.
And then the other ones don't even talk about kids. They talk about they have kids, but they don't even talk about shit.
They're helping the kids, right? We're helping the kids. But isn't it a shame? And I don't know certain names, but the majority. We're helping the kids, and it's about the kids, and their own kids don't even talk to them. So what does that tell you? Their own kids don't even talk to them, but they're going to help kids. So I don't understand it. You know what? If I can be a hero to my grandkids and my daughters, and you know, that's all I need. I don't need it. If I can do my dream, like I said, you still got people that say, Rubiana, go Chicky, good for you. And you know, they can't be laughing too much longer, Staxx, because I was in a major motion picture in November, and it'll be coming out probably at the end of this year. And they'll be able to go have popcorn and soda, and they can laugh at me all they want when they're eating juju bees and popcorn in a movie theater watching me. So they can laugh at me all they want.
Hey, so, man, they're gonna see me right next to you, bro.
Yeah, you know, so they can laugh at me all they want right now. But when they're sitting home on a snowy night, I might be locked up. But they'll have their laugh. They'll be watching Netflix with popcorn and juju bees with their kids and saying, "Isn't that Chicky?" So let them laugh at me then.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. I
appreciate
you coming on, man. I really do.
I had fun. I hope the stories were okay. I know. I just see me. I'm a straight shooter. I just say the stories. Anybody that knows me, they'll say, "Oh, that's a true story." I mean, you know, maybe
I got to come up there, man. I got to come up there and hang out with you and Grasso and come over to MGM, man. Go have some laughs and shit, you know?
Yeah, this is a nice, fun little town over here. It's a really good little town. It's fun. A lot of craziness, but it's really fun.
It's a stone's throw away from me, man.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm just sending out a prayer for my nephew. He gets sentenced very soon, and he's another one got to fucking railroad. It's terrible. They didn't find him with nothing. They had him on no conversations. Just one stupid little conversation. No drugs, no guns, no nothing. And here's a kid. They hit him with the RICO Act, and you know, he's facing up to 20 years for not even one bit of anything. They have nothing except for an informant that got caught with a bunch of drugs and gave up my nephew and 63 other guys in the biggest takedown in East Coast history of the FBI Boston field office. They named it the biggest takedown in history because of one drug dealing informant, and he took down 63 guys and women, women. And like I said, I just happened to be in what do they call it? Like that? I forgot what the paper called it. It was pretty funny.
In the dragnet, caught up in the dragnet.
Our house to serve a warrant, and they found out something I shouldn't have had, and it is what it is. So it's okay. I'll deal with it. And it is what it is. Like I said, I get sentenced March 17th. And then we'll say, like I said, I'm a self-report, so we'll see. You know, I got 3 months in already. So with COVID, who knows? You know, who knows what they're gonna do? So whatever it is, I'll make the best of it. And then I got a lot of great things coming in the future. So like I said, and then like I told you, I got big things coming with the YouTube channel, but I can't start it now and then go away. So when I come out, I got a couple people. You know, we're gonna put something together, and we're gonna do it right. We're gonna have a studio. We're gonna do it right. It ain't gonna be just sitting in my cellar. It's gonna be done right. And like I said, if I can get a couple guests that hasn't even been on YouTube yet, reached out and said, listen, if you do it right, I'll be your first guest. And if this guy, you know, I'm not going to mention names, but if this guy comes on, forget about it. And it'll put me over the stratosphere the first week. So, like I said, so I'm just looking forward to some good things going. And like I said, I just got to, you know, keep things going forward. A lot of these knuckleheads out there trying to, you know, make problems for me. That's okay. Let them do it. It's funny because where were they 3 years ago when I wasn't on nothing, you know? You couldn't
Listen, man, I'm not on nothing, man. I could be around you. Next time he pulls the phone out, man, I'll take care of him for you.
No, that's easy. Thank you, but that's easy. Believe me, it's easy for that. But like I said, just moving forward, and I got my grandkids now. My daughters are doing great. Got beautiful houses. I mean, that right there, that's my accomplishment to life right there, bringing my kids up the right way, co-parenting with my ex-wife. and they're just doing great. They're an inspiration to me. So, and they got great husbands. So listen, either way, whatever happens, I'm blessed.
Well, you're doing the right thing, man. I read
Trying.
that article.
Everyone
needs to go
did a good job.
Check out that article, man. Yeah.
She did the article. My lawyer was there. I made sure my lawyer was there because you know how sometimes they want to trick you up and say something and put it in my mouth. I said something else. So I had my lawyer. Let me put a shout out to him, Dan Hagen, him and Dan Kelly, two of the best lawyers in New England. And Dan's not only my lawyer, he's my dear friend. And this kid stepped up to the plate for me. And if he had his way, he would have took it to trial and everything. But we decided, we got turned down on a couple. We tried to get us to dismiss and another thing to get rid of some evidence. And they laughed. They said, no, come on, it ain't going to work. So I just said, Dan, he wanted to keep going, which kudos to him. He's a great guy. But I was like, Dan, it's not a lot of time. Let me just wait.
Stress, right? The stress of it building up.
It's too much. It's going on. I'm talking about this happened December 5th, 2019, and it's already going on 2022. And COVID screwed us up because 8-9 months ago we would have been doing everything either way. But COVID closed the courts for like 7-8 months.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Like I said, a lot of positive shit going on. And like I said, when I go in, if I got to go in, I'll finish up the book. And it's going to be huge. The book's got good people helping me. It's just going to be incredible, So
I got your back, man. Don't worry. I got your back, bro.
I feel comfortable. And like I said, I got some big things. And Vlad reached out, and but like I said, I can't do that right now. I got they got a lot of people, and they want me on live air, and I can't do that right now. I can't go on live. I can go on live, but not live face and all that. I got the rules, but they told me, like I said, Vlad, you go into the studio in Manhattan and you do it live, and that'll come. Like I said, let me go get through this little stupid thing, and then we'll go from there. So but like I said, I just want to give out if anybody's interested. It's a funny little thing. I do a little Instagram and thing. I go official _ and then my name, Chicky, Chicky, Cecchetelli, Cecchetelli. I have fun. I put up funny videos. I put my grandkids. I put up stupid things. Anything. Put it this way: if you look at that thing, you might think I'm nuts. You might think I'm crazy. But it's like a day in the life of my crazy head. So that's how I can explain it. But at least you'll laugh a little bit if you see it.
Well, thank you for joining me, man.
Absolutely, my pal. Anytime, like I said, stay in touch. And thank you. And remember, we got some good things coming out. We got the Pet movie coming out, major motion picture. We got Hungry Hill shooting. That's definitely shooting. It got funded. It's definitely a go. Just a matter of
shout out to Chicky, man. Shout out to Chicky.
Thank you. Tell your audience. I can't really see the comments or anything. Tell them thank you so much. I hope they enjoyed it. I'm just being me, and it's an honor. I'm humbled that you guys would feel, have me on and ask questions, and feel the way they do.
Definitely, man.
All right, my brother.
Yeah, man. And for the #1 spot for all your mob content, right here, chatting with Staxx, man. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. See you guys next time. Thank you, Chick.
Take care. All right. See you, Staxx. Bye.
Later.